Apparently Mr. Zuckerberg didn't like that statement. They must have an algorithm that states anything to do with the Zucky you can't really state. But I'm speaking about the necessity of a heroic dose of ayahuasca in the United Nations Security Council, where those are the people that really need to purge and drop down deep into the recesses of their unrecognized conditioning, the impulsion of the human spirit to want to violate and to deny and to persecute and to denigrate. I can see that the algorithm has completely severed this video. So what I'm going to do is save what I'm going to say, and I'm going to continue this tomorrow. And if you've been tuning in, I'm going to do part 2 of this tomorrow. I'm just getting warmed up. I can see there's only one person watching when we had 50. And so you're coming back slowly. But let me conclude a little bit with the Burma. I'm going to save the rest of my presentation on Extinction X-Rated for tomorrow. We got cut off, if you're watching right now. We didn't get cut off. We got shut down by the cancellation club in Silicon Valley. Today, the United Nations Security Council, China specifically, vetoed any really decent response to the crisis in Burma. A tragic day for the United Nations credibility. And I'm going to conclude here. The people of Burma, the ethnic varieties, the groups, the armed insurgents, the armed rebels, now in a Federation of Freedom Fighters, those who've been imprisoned in the various gulags around the country, those who are walking and hiding and moving to avoid arrest, the boys and girls in Gen Z and Gen X hanging in the civil disobedience movement, those courageous rail workers, whoa, man, that you said no to the terrorist group in Naypyidaw, and they took your homes from you. That is mind-boggling courage. You win the Nobel Peace Prize along with the civil disobedience movement. I hope you are named by person all around the world and brought in radiance on CNN and BBC and the Washington Post. Look at these brave men and women who were told to get out of their homes. You evacuated your jobs. You said, no, I'd rather be homeless and penniless than to collude with murder in tyranny. Rock on, man. That is so bold, so brave, so inspiring. You have turned my life into a radiant rainbow of hope. Let me conclude. Ming Online, the former general of the Thamada that is no longer the military of the armed forces. You are now a bona fide terrorist organization known as MASAC, State Administration Council. It should be designated as such legally around the world, and the MASAC terrorist group should be known worldwide as an illegitimate, dysfunctional, sociopathic terrorist group, absolutely equivalent, in some ways worse than the Taliban. And definitely Ming Online is a Saddam Hussein, if not worse, a Pol Pot, who is just growing in his fetish for the bloodbath that Burma is undergoing tragically. Take him out. Go retire. Go, 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 go. But the world is watching. The world is engaged. The world is unified, and it's slow to move. But let us take the power in our hands, and as the African National Congress, the ANC in South Africa, back in the day, in the mid-'80s, when Nelson Mandela was still imprisoned, and they snuck out that letter and read by his daughter epic phrases that I think apply to Burma today. He said, make South Africa ungovernable. That's the soul, the conscience, the right action, the eightfold path, if you will, of the civil disobedience movement, is to make Myanmar completely, utterly ungovernable, unworkable. That 2 major shopping malls were burned overnight, owned by the terrorist group, Ming Online and his cronies, yet insured by civilian organizations. Looks as if the arson was generated, it looks as if generated by the terrorist group out of desire to pillage, steal, and get more and more money from the people. That is as desperate can be. I've shopped so many times in both of those malls. And to think of them being utterly gutted and burned is essentially saying that Myanmar in Burma is headlong into a desecrated, failed nation, where the people of Burma and the Federation of Freedom Fighters and the Civil Disobedience Movement and the Sangha, the nuns and the monks, the 300,000 monks and 400,000 Tilashins, must take more and more of the courage, the bravery, the right action into their own hearts and hands, and to continue to confront the terrorist organization Masak. We must demand more and more vocally the immediate release of Daw Aung San Suu Kyi and the President Win Myint and everyone else, including U Win Taint, Sean Turnell, and hundreds, if not thousands, of other men and women who have been detained, and many of them being tortured. It is time to continue to act and to act and to act. And I want to close by saying I thank you to those people in Burma who at this very moment are sacrificing everything for the sake of freedom and democracy. I am personally able to enjoy here in my own country of America, here in California at the moment. Despite the struggles, they're nothing to what you're dealing with. But I want to let you know that the inspiration that you display every day and every night, the way that you continue to confront the evil of tyranny, is unthinkably, breathtakingly courageous and inspiring. And from my heart to yours, I cannot thank you enough for your ongoing dedication to the liberty from fear, from greed, delusion, tyranny, terrorism, and dictatorship. I will see you tomorrow here at 9:30. This is the second talk in a series, based on my new book, Extinction X-Rated, and my new film, Spiritually Incorrect, which is available on filmsforaction.org. I might add, anyone who is connected to Burma, both the people in Burma and Burmese around the world, the film has priceless footage from my time and years in Burma with Daw Aung San Suu Kyi and other leaders. And I would really encourage you to go to filmsforaction.org and look for Spiritually Incorrect. And you can either buy or download or rent the film. And it's really an amazing film, I would say, of hope and roots very much in my years, both in the monasteries and in the civilian sector in the country of Burma, and also in Bosnia and in Croatia. And the book itself, Extinction X-Rated, is really the literary accomplishment, or the accompaniment of the film itself, which is available, of course, on Amazon worldwide. From my heart to yours, thank you. I will see you here at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. And please, if you're motivated, to share this video worldwide. Thank you.